To record. Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to tonight's All Partner Training session, which is all about getting to know your website and all the amazing free things that are on there for you to make the most of. I am joined by our Global Digital Director, Sophie McNeil, and Sophie will be hosting tonight's session. Sophie said she's doing it in 4 parts, so please, if you've got any questions, type them in the chat as we go along. Sophie's also really keen on any feedback to do with the website as well. She's very open to any thoughts, suggestions, so please do put all those things in the chat as well. And then at the end of each of the 4 sections, I'll ask your questions to Sophie as well. So Sophie isn't one of our developers. She is a member of the Usborne team. So some of the questions, if they're really technical to do with like your dashboard or anything, Sophie's not your person for that. But if you have suggestions for the website, any questions about the website in general, where you can find things, maybe stuff that's missing or you can't find or you want or your customers are asking for, that is 100% Sophie's remit. So I'm going to hand over to Sophie now.
Hello everyone, and I just want to say a big massive thank you for all joining. I know that it's the day before World Book Day, which is obviously a massive deal, and probably like me, you've got a child running around throwing things out of the chest of drawers trying to figure out, you know, how to be a shadow hunter or Poppy and Sam, or maybe drawing over themselves in biro. That's what I've got going on right now. So I appreciate you joining, and I hope we'll have a fun session tonight. So I'm Sophie McNeil. I'm the Global Digital Director here at Usborne, and that means that I look after our website.
What's happening with dinner, darling?
I also look after email and social media. So I think most of you have muted as you come in, but if you haven't muted, then that'd be wonderful if you would just do so, just so we can keep the background noise to a minimum. That'd be brilliant. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I have 2 parts of my job. One part of my job is I look after the kind of book publishing side. And obviously, as that part of my job, I'm really thinking about how we reach consumers and parents and teachers and grandparents and all of those good folks. And then the other side of my job, which I really particularly love, is working with Usborne Community Partnerships. I'm working with you all as well. So Lucy and Michelle invited me along just to talk about the Usborne website. And my plan for tonight is to really give you an overview of the different parts of the website, some ideas of how to use it in your business. So I'm going to kind of cover this whole thing in 4 sections. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is really about how to find books on the website, like how to do like really good, meaningful searches, and how to share the groups of books, the selections of books that you find. I'm then going to talk in the second part about kind of the kinds of information that we provide on a book and where it comes from, just to make sure that you're all aware of that. Then the third part of this evening, I'm going to talk about some of our other site sections that aren't to do with the books. So things around activities, our schools section, quick links, and those parts of the website. And then in the last section, I'm just going to talk a little bit about kind of the partner specific functionality we have for the website. So how to set up your partner account on the website, some of the functionality around sharing links to your sort of version of the website, and sharing links to online events as well. So that's my plan. I hope that's okay. And without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen now. And that's going to be good because then you don't have to look at me. We can look at the website itself. Although I was saying to Lucy that I'm wearing lipstick like twice per year. You get to see me with lipstick, and this is one of those times per year. So you know, I've made an effort. Okay, so for anybody who's not familiar, this is the Usborne website. Now, I'm going to sort of go left to right across the website. So I'm going to start here. This is our homepage, right? I'm sure most of you have got that far on the website with a bit of luck. There's a lot of books on the homepage. We mix this up every month. You can see at the moment, we're very focused on Easter, but we really do this to kind of support consumers, but to also support you guys as well and talk about the things that are most current and relevant to your businesses as well. If you're elsewhere on the website and you want to get back to the home page, the easiest and quickest way to do it is by clicking on the logo in the top left-hand corner, and that way you don't have to keep pressing the back button or retype it in worst case. One thing that you guys may not know, because this is a little bit hidden, but in the top left-hand corner here, you can see English GBP. Actually, our website is actually lots and lots of different websites. So we've actually got websites in all different languages. You can see at the bottom, we've actually got Korean, we have got simplified Chinese character language websites. So actually people can actually, we've actually got multiple English language websites as well. So, you know, if I select English, I could then, you know, it looks like I've got millions of them, but actually there's only about 7 or 8 of these, but they're separate websites for some different countries. This has a tendency to cause confusion with some of our partners, because especially partners who are in European countries, because what happens on the website is that, you know, if I'm shopping in Italy, for example, the website tries to be really smart and it tries to direct people towards the Italian language website, but there is actually no partner functionality on any website other than the English United Kingdom website. So if that's ever a problem for anyone, they have to basically force customers onto English UK, and they can do that through, again, I'll just show you again, the little link in the top left-hand corner. Okay, so let's come and talk about books. All books come on our website 9 months before they're published. So you'll find, obviously, we've got a lot of new books here. You can see these ones with the little roundel. They are new. That means they've already been published. But you'll also see a lot of books on our website which have the little roundel that says coming soon. And that's actually, you may have even noticed if you've been with us a while that that's increased of late. And that's because we've had a lot of demand for people to see the books further in advance of being published. So they're now on the website 9 months of being published. So let's go in and look at how you might browse the books and find the kind of books that you're interested in. So the first way really to do it is browse by age. So there's actually a couple of ways of doing it. One is this is like what we call the flyout navigation. So this is a fun way. You can see there's a featured title here. But let's just click on age, and that'll take us to our browse by age navigation. And this is where you can actually select a category based on the age of child. And this is, to be honest, is the way that most consumers will browse our website. They're usually more interested in trying to find books by age. These things are not kind of hard and fast, because obviously it's a bit difficult. You could end up with a book that's rated as, you know, 6+, and it's a little bit difficult to see whether you want to put it in the 5 to 7, or you might be putting it in the 7 to 11. So there's a little bit of overlap between these categories that I wouldn't worry too much about. What I would really encourage you guys to use, though, so maybe let's pick one of these ones. Let's pick 3 to 5 years. See how we get on with that. So you can see already. So ignore all this stuff at the top, because this is just to kind of give people some of our best-selling books in that category. But let's get back to the books. And here you can already see that we've narrowed our selection down a little bit by browsing by age. I would really encourage you guys, though, to use these filters on the left. And I think that you'll find this one at the top, in stock, really, really useful. Because if, for example, so say you wanted to find new books, so let's select to sort by newest, which will give us our newest books first. You might do that, and then you'll see that actually you've got a whole heap of coming soon books, and you might be thinking, oh wait, that's no use. I only want the books that are actually published that people can buy. So my recommendation here is, if you check that in stock button, that will be really helpful for you, because then that's going to show you the books that are actually available to buy, and that will get rid of all of those coming soon books for you. So I think that's a really good way to do it. One other thing I wanted to point out for you guys as well is once you've done this search, you might be, okay, this is, this is great for me, but can I share this with other people, and can, in a way that they will also get rid of all of those coming soon books? And the answer is yes. So if you look in the top in my browser window here, I've got a big long URL up there. If you copy and paste that, they will get the same experience. So they will also get the the filters checked that you've checked and so on. So I find this very useful. So while we're just on the sort of on this top right hand button, you can see also here we've got some other sort functionality as well. We've got name. I don't tend to find that very helpful personally. I tend to use newest, but also the most popular. Most popular is a little bit of a combination of new and best-selling. And then obviously consumers will often be looking at price as well. So that's handy. So just going through these filters on the left, we've also got what we call category. And category is, lots of useful categories, but quite honestly, it's a bit of a sort of mishmash. So some of these categories are actually formats, like an activity book, or, we've actually got novelty books, by which we mean all of the, touchy-feely books, the That's Not My and Don't Tickle, and they tend to fall in novelty. And then we've got sort of topical things like, English language books or baby books. We've also got seasonal things like Easter and Valentine's and those sorts of things. So it's a bit of a mix, but it tends to reflect the kind of searches that we see people doing. So if you wanted to, say you wanted actually history books, you can actually, use that little search bar there to try and find the category that you're looking for. I don't know how many history books, actually, that's probably a really bad idea to do that in the 3 to 5s. Let's give it a go. Let's see what we've got. See if anything comes up. Oh, yes. Look, there we go. There we go. We've got some kings and queens and Romans. So that worked pretty well. Okay, right. I'm going to actually uncheck that because I feel like the more filters I do, I'm going to end up with like 0 books left. And I want to make sure that there are some coming up. So I've unchecked that. So that's category, and that's also like a really helpful way to search, and I think you'll find that helpful too. The next 4 on the left, well, the next 4 on the left-hand side, I would say are kind of quite schools focused. So depending on whether you guys are parents or teachers, perhaps, you may have come across book bans. This is the most common ways in British schools that that books tend to be organised by reading level. So this is an official categorisation of book bans. So this is also, we also have this information on, I would say, almost all books on our website. So I have actually no idea what pink books are. So let's see if we can find what that comes up with. Okay, so those are all the books that are book banded pink. And you can actually check multiple ones. So if we want the ones that are book banded pink and blue, then we've got those coming up as well. So that's very helpful. Oops, let's just get rid of that. Okay, so book bans, super helpful. And that's probably the best way if you're looking for the reading level of a child. It might be an idea to find out what books they're currently reading and enjoy to read, and maybe try and match by book band is a good way of trying to find other books at the same reading level. Obviously, if they have a favourite author, then, and this is obviously just Usborne authors here, then that's another way that you can select. So you could check some of those boxes. Or, for example, if you wanted to see everything, Sam and Fiona are obviously our baby books authors. So that's another way you could turn up a lot of our baby books. And then the last 2 are really a little bit more niche. So Lexile is a little bit like book bans as well. It's something used by schools. It's a little bit less common in this country than book bans. It's quite an American thing, Lexile. But if schools use it, then that's another way that they can also search by reading level. And then there's one final filter here as well, which is accelerated reader. So Accelerated Reader is a program that we take part in, and books have to be accepted into the Accelerated Reader program. So what the Accelerated Reader team do is that they make quizzes on books, and schools can sign up to be part of the Accelerated Reader program, and then they will make these quizzes for these books. And then the idea is that in school, a child would read the book and then they would do the quiz on the book. And teachers find it really helpful for two reasons. They find that the quiz is quite engaging for children, but also it gives them lots of information about how that child is doing in terms of their reading level and how well they've understood the text. So actually, some teachers who at schools where they really are participating in the Accelerated Reader program really do want to see all books that are where there are quizzes available. So if let's uncheck in stock so I can get a few more books up here. I've picked it 3 to 5. You can see here that there's only lower years interest level coming up, but actually if we browse by age into some of the higher age bands, you'd actually see there's multiple levels for this Accelerated Reader program. So what I'm going to do is show you a bit more on the website, because if that all sounded like something completely new to you, you might like to go and check out. There's a section within our schools and nurseries area of the website called Levels and Bands. And Levels and Bands has lots of information about all of this stuff. So there's information about these book bands and what they mean and what they equate to. There's information about Accelerated Reader. There's information about Lexile measures. And then we also have some books get rated for CEFR. That's really our reading program. And that's really because those books are actually particularly aimed at international schools abroad. So CEFR is like a European grading banding framework. So it's only really those learning to read books that go into the European market for us that have a CEFR level. But I was going to just quickly show you within Accelerated Reader. Obviously, you might want to use the filters to try and get a selection of books that's appealing to a school. If a school actually wanted, say they just wanted a list of all Usborne books and they wanted it more in like a spreadsheet form, actually we have spreadsheets. So this is our, you can see here, downloaded it, you click on it, it downloads. You can see I've got Excel sheet closed, so it'll take a second to load up. But you'll see that this comes up with a great big spreadsheet of all of those Accelerated Reader books. It's a little bit unmanageable, but say a school really wanted that whole big giant list, then they could do that. Otherwise, I would recommend using that Accelerated Reader filter together, potentially in combination with other things, to find books that children might be interested in on schools. So that is the browse by age section. And I'm going to briefly talk through some of the other ways that you can, or other sort of special pages and ways to search that are in this whole books area. This is the special offers page. I feel like, frankly, if there's any page that you guys are familiar with on the website, it will be the special offers page, because this is where all of our great deals end up. So even if we have a sale that's really sort of specific for UCP, anything that's a special offer is going to end up on this page. So obviously that's really important. You can see again, we've still got the filters on the left-hand side, so you can use that to narrow down those special offers as well. And then if you really are more keen to search by category, then this is probably, so you can see I went to books, browse by category, and ended up on this page. So this is potentially an easier way to browse by category, because it's a good way to see all the categories, and you can see there's a lot. There are even some categories that you will not see in this list here. So say there's a category like jigsaws that is just not on this list, just because this list is not big enough to hold all the categories that we actually have. So if you were interested in finding a page with all of our jigsaws, then actually here I would point you to actually search. So if we look for jigsaws, you can see within our search function, then you can see that actually there's various things this brings up. If I look at jigsaw, so actually there's going to be a whole list of books here, but there's also going to be these sort of category and series pages. Interestingly, for jigsaws, there's also a blog post about how to benefit from doing jigsaw puzzles, and then there's also some quick links as well. But this is probably a good way if you feel like there should be a category page for a group of products, then this is a really good way to find it. And here you can see that we've got all of those jigsaws together on one page. Okay, so that I think is pretty much, well, maybe we'll talk about another couple of categories just so I can show you the range of it. Increasingly for big holidays, like obviously we're looking at Easter at the moment, and that's huge for us. We have these super fancy category pages where, you know, we've got a nice little header. We've also got a big activity pack that people can download. And then if you scroll down, then we've got all of those Easter books. So we've really put kind of like the best of Easter onto one page for you, so that we've got one really nice place that we can send people for Easter that's got our activities, and then hopefully they'll come for the activity pack, and then they'll look at some books while they're there. So that's what we're tending to do these days with those big seasonal moments. But then, you know, in contrast, if we look at, oh, I found one that was really boring. I thought I'd show you a really boring one. Found science dictionaries. Won't be able to find it now. Okay, it's fine. Let's find one's probably going to be boring. Foreign languages, I imagine, will be quite boring. Yeah, it's got a header, but you can see here it's kind of like plain. We haven't really gone to the extent of merchandising it particularly beautifully. So they vary a bit, is what I'm trying to say. They don't always look the same, and it just depends how much effort we've really put into them. Okay, so that is categories. There's a couple more of these pages, popular themes, popular series. I mean, there can be a useful quick way if you want to get to something and you know that it's on this page. So series can be useful if you wanted to get quickly to That's Not My or Stick a Dolly Dressing. I personally don't find these, frankly, super helpful, because I'd probably just go straight to the search bar and type it in, but they can be useful. And then this one here is the new books page. And I would say this actually is a really valuable page, because what we do is this is always just the new books publishing this month. So literally as soon as we've made this inventory live for you guys, we're jumping into this page, we're updating it. So this will always have just this month's new books. So I would really recommend keeping an eye on the new books. And this is also like if you wanted to get into the habit of, you know, emailing people and letting them know when we've got, you know, what this month's new books are, then this is just a very easy place to send people, is the new books page. And then finally, we have browse all books. And say you really wanted to do some kind of really, you know, filtery query here, and you're getting really into like, I just want to see all books, and maybe it's an author and you're not quite sure what age band it's that you need, but browse all books is just a really good starting place, because literally this is everything on our website. You can see it's 3,000 books, but if you wanted to do just a sort of general filtering query, then I'd start with this browse all books page and then build your filtering on that, and then you can make sure that you've got everything. So that's the end of the first section. We've talked about browsing. Were there any questions that anyone wanted to ask that relate to how to best find books on the website?
I've noted down a couple of questions. So one of them was, is there a way to search by price?
There isn't a filter by price, but for example, if you, let's see what you might want to do. So say you wanted to browse by category, you'd narrow down a little bit and say you were looking, say you just wanted to know the cheapest special offer book on the website, then I'd do that search and then you'd use the sorting function. So you'd sort by low to high. But what we can't do is you can't just do a filtering where you're just saying, okay, I only want books between £5 and £10, unfortunately. That's a good question.
There's been lots of questions about link sharing from a partner website.
Yeah.
So if they were logged in,
talk about that.
Yeah, if they were logged in as them, I think it was because obviously the in stock's massively useful. So if they were logged in as them, they clicked in stock and then they shared the list, the link from the top. Would that work? And it would take the customer to their partner page.
I think it does. So what I've done, here's what
I think you have to share the normal share this. I've tried it and it definitely doesn't if you share the main link at the top, but there is the share this page and that does keep the filters from the middle.
Okay, so let's have a go. Here we go. You can see I'm logged in. Here's one I made earlier. So I'm logged in. This is our special kind of fake partner account. So I've gone to 0 to 3 years, filter by stock, in stock. Okay, and then, oh, hang on, that didn't work. There we go. Okay, and then share this page from partner's website. Let's just see what it says. Oh, that's not helpful, is it? Hang on.
Yeah, if you just click copy and then put it in the browser, it just redirect it. You can see it says partner at the top and then it says, you know, stock and whatever. So it does come back up. But you have to use that middle share. Otherwise it would just go to Usborne one.
I copied the top link and it worked for me.
Oh, did it?
Once I've selected, so I did the same. I did 3 to 5 and then in stock and shared that link, and it seemed to work for my parents.
If you're sharing it with a customer, it may be because you're already on your partner website. I don't know.
Either way, that looks like it does work okay. So that's good news. Yeah, I think it should work. That share button looked like it worked pretty well. This will work as well, but you can see that we've lost your partner ID from that link. So I wouldn't share, that's not what you want. You want to be sharing your partner link. So you always want to be clicking on this button so that then when they come back that they are then shopping with you, as you know. Great question though.
There's another question about where do I find CEFR? I don't know whether that is like, have we got a list of books that are in that framework?
Yeah, I think yes,
that was my question, Lucy, and I think I just missed how to get there. I was trying to look in 2 places at once.
Yeah, so really let me show you. That's an easy question. So if you wanted a book that has to see all the books that have the CEFR rating, go to browse all books, because that's got everything. Then you've started your search with all the books, and then you can filter. So
I'll go to books, but not browse age. So just oh no, hang on, books, home.
Sorry, there's a slightly annoying thing here with every time you click a box, it refreshes the thing. So you have to be a bit patient with it.
So books, right? But I've got I've got books.
So browse all books, and then you're going to use the filter on the left. See what I've done? I've just checked all of those CEFR boxes.
Yeah, I can't see where I'm saying browse all books. I've clicked books.
So you're going to books.
Yeah.
All right. Hang on. Books. Browse all books. Okay, so that's going to
right
get
at the
you
end.
the
Yeah,
full
right.
book. Yeah, I know it's
Yeah.
a bit of a pain, isn't it? Because you have to be very controlled with your mouse, and then you'll see this. So the reason why CEFR wasn't popping up was because I had selected the age 3 to 5,
Right, that's where
and
I
so the
couldn't
filters
find
try
it.
and be really smart. So they weren't, or I think, or maybe I'd selected 0 to 3. It was too young, so there weren't really any CEFRs popping up. But you'll
Right.
see here. Do you remember what I said about? It's more like these English readers. So these are it's the learning to read books that I tend to have.
I'm
the
in France
CEFR.
though, so they're really useful to me.
Great, perfect.
Yeah. Sorry, I just asked another question, which I don't know is your remit, but I know saw somebody put a thumb up. I feel we could really do with a much more prominent special offers tab, because anyone going on our website just doesn't see it until they click books and then the special offers. I don't know if that's a development thing, but I really feel that we should have a much more prominent special offers tab.
Great. I take that on board. I think that's a good idea. Let me take it away.
Okay, thank you.
There was another question saying, are the categories based on books sold or something else? I presume that was in relation to popular categories in the categorization, Sophie.
Does whoever wanted to know the answer to that, do they want to just unmute and just explain?
Hi, it's me, Marianne, Ryan. I can't put my camera on, I'm afraid. But I am here. Yeah, I just wondered what it was based on. If it's based on like the categories on the left-hand side, because you said you couldn't have a jigsaws one. So is it based on the amount of books that have been sold, or something else?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of, these are kind of subjective categorizations that we maintain. We are looking at bringing jigsaws into the left-hand side, because actually it's one that we would love, honestly, you know, we would love to be starting this category structure from scratch, but we've got 3,000 books, so if you want to make a change,
I appreciate that.
So we're working on it. We try and change this up so we have things that are more relevant at the top. And yeah, we will put we're looking at sorting out the jigsaws a bit, because that is a particular thorny one for us. We'd like to have jigsaws in here. We'd like to have magic painting as well in here. It doesn't come out very strongly. But yeah, this is sort of subjective. This is not automated. Literally, somebody has to go in and assign,
change them.
Books.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I look after a website as well, so I know how hard that can be. Okay, I just wondered, that's all. Thank you.
No problem.
Right. There's a question which you have answered, but obviously we know that people are kind of joining dribs and drabs when they've managed to get children to bed, etc. And I think it is a really key point, which was about the search function and a category in stock. Could you just show people again where it is that they can click to make sure they're only showing books that are in stock?
Yeah, so for example, if I go into the category, let me pick a category. I'm just going to go for activity books because I like them. Then you can see on this left-hand side, we've got all of these filters and what I was just saying to everybody. So say, for example, I wanted to show new books, but ones that are actually published as opposed to all the coming soons. A good way to do it is to select newest, which is going to bring me up probably a load of coming soons, but then filter by stock and check the in stock. And then that will get rid of all those coming soon books. And that will just give me the ones that are published, but these will be our newest books.
And then there were various other suggestions, which I know you were keen to hear. So I will send you over the transcript of this, Sophie, after this recording, so then you can work through those and browse in your own time.
Fantastic. Great. Okay. So let's pick a book and let's talk a little bit about the kinds of information we have on an individual book. I picked this one because it's a particular favorite, but also it has I couldn't find a book that has everything that we have on a book, because there are actually there's so much information we tend to have on these books. I couldn't find one with everything, but here's a reasonable example of a book. So we've got our lovely cover, and then, you know, if you've never done this, if you click on our lovely little see inside sort of winky eyes, then you can actually also see some spreads from inside the book, which is obviously very useful when you're trying to decide whether it's a good fit or not for a child. And you can see that also graphically presented as well underneath here, so you could click on these if you wanted. This is quite a good book because it's got lots of things. It's got quick links, and I'll come and talk about quick links in a little bit later. But you can see it's also got a video here, which you can play. You can also expand out into a full video or go and sit on YouTube. This one's also got a blog post associated with it as well, and teachers' resources as well. So again, I'll come and talk about things like teachers' resources a little bit later. I also picked this one because it's got some reviews as well on this book. So we use a review platform called FIFO. So you can see here, you can see all reviews at FIFO. This is all, I'm not going to click on it because this is just all reviews for Usborne in general rather than reviews for the book. So what happens with FIFO, and you've probably all seen, I imagine you've all seen a bunch of these emails. So when someone orders from the website, then they will get a follow-up email that will come, hopefully after the book has been delivered, that comes from FIFO asking for feedback on Usborne generally and asking for specific feedback on the books. And then if they give specific feedback on books, it will show up here. We don't filter that at all. All the reviews just flow through automatically. So if it's a 1-star review, it shows up here as a 1-star. And that's just the way it is. So that's great. And then if people want to see like reviews about us generally, then they show up on FIFO. It's a bit like Trustpilot or one of these other websites. So if someone just Googled Usborne reviews, then they could see that all of the reviews are positive. And actually, we've just won FIFO's Platinum Service Award because the ratings that customers have given us, and obviously this is all partner related, have been so good for 3 years in a row that we have got their Platinum Trusted Service Award, which is fantastic. And people also get to see some of the reviews about Usborne generally at the point where they're checking out as well. So that's reviews. And then just coming down onto the right hand side, you know, obviously we've got the author, we've got the illustrator, age rating, not page rating, age rating. Wish lists, I'll talk about that in a bit. Obviously people can add to basket, which is great. And then I just wanted to cover this little bit out here because sometimes people miss this. So obviously this book has had a lot of awards, so this one's well worth clicking to see the full details. But you can see here all of that information around that specific book in terms of, you know, accelerated reader and book bands and so on is all here. And then these are actually tabs as well. So author, series, awards and press. And if you wanted to go and see all of Sophie Allison's books, you would have to click on this link here, this is a little annoying because it's quite a lot of clicks. See all her books here, and then you can navigate through to all Sophie's books. And the same for series. So this one here is, you can see the series, and actually in this case, the series is called Books by Sophie Allison, which is not very interesting, but often if it's part of a, you know, you might have an author has multiple series, and then that would show the actual series. We are currently looking at making this all a little bit cleaner, but also we do have in our database the order of books in a series, and at the moment I don't think we actually bring that through to the website, so that's something that we are looking at. Okay, so yeah, so that is basically what we have on individual books. Was there another one I was going to look at? I can't remember. No, I think that's okay. Does anybody have any questions on sort of the data that we capture on individual books?
There was one about what's the relevance of the work reference?
That's an amazing question, and it is of practically no relevance to you. It is of massive relevance to me.
Okay, it's just that we use. Sorry, it's Philippa who asked that question.
Yeah.
It's just because on the customer order pads we've still got the Usborne code written on, and the 5 digits, and there's no I've just done a school book fair, and I didn't realise that the reference isn't referenced anywhere now on the website.
The 5 digit.
Yes, well, this happens to be, this work reference is 5 digits, but a lot that are 4. So is each work reference different?
Yeah, so I'll tell you exactly. So a work reference, it kind of is what it says on the tin in a funny way. The work is the house with chicken legs. So, for example, with some books, we might have a hardcover and a paperback, and they are both the same work. So the work reference would be the same for both of those books. And even when the House of Chicken Legs is translated into French, it's still the same work. So the reason why we did this is because we were struggling when we had books publishing in different markets, and they had different ISBNs for the same book. So, for example, when we would post about a book on social media, if you were in America, you'd get a dead link basically because the ISBN was different for the book. So what we developed is just like a little clever thing. I don't think this is of use to you, but I'll show you just in case it is, where basically if you do usborne.com and you post in that 5 digits, oops, I should manage to show you on that book.
I've tried, because I tried to use the work reference like to order the books as well. You can't.
No, it's not the same.
No,
okay. So I managed to show you one doesn't work. That's impressive there. Right. I've never seen it before. Right. But that's what
I just wanted to use the work reference. You know, if people are ordering on like a school book fair, it's really annoying if they just write down, I don't know, what I'm thinking of. Oh, if there's a series of books, for example, Oliver Moon, for example, although that's not relevant anymore, but then they don't put down the actual code, the 5-digit code on the customer order pad or a wish list used to tell us the exact book. So, but if I can use the work reference.
No, you can't. They're entirely different numbers. They are not the same number at all.
No, but for me, I can tell that that's that book. If they put the work reference down when I'm ordering a book, I can use that work reference to know that that's the right book. If they're all different.
Yeah, the issue is if there's multiple formats of the book, it won't tell you which format.
No, and sometimes if it's a hardback or a right, okay.
Yeah, sometimes. So, for example, where we have, we're constantly doing these sort of updates of a book, and that may or may not have a different work reference depending on how they want to do it. So, yeah, I mean, I think I've written it down to take it away because it would. If I don't quite know what the strategy is, honestly, with the 5-digit code, because everyone else uses ISBN. And your 5-digit code actually is basically, it's kind of comes from the middle of the ISBN, but it's not in a way, unfortunately, that is 100% reliable. But whether we can expose that and have that as an extra piece of data on the book page, we might be able to do it. I just don't know.
Well, in the catalogue, they used to have the ISBN code, and those 5 digits would be in bold. And that was useful, but that was in the catalogue because nobody wants to write the whole ISBN number out when they're ordering a book on a piece of paper for a school book fair, for example.
I'll take that away, Philippa. I think that's a good idea. Let me take it away and have a look and see whether that's an option.
Because at least we could say to customers, the code, the bit in bold, ISBN bit in bold on the website, for example, or in the catalogue.
Yeah.
but it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I think if we were going to put it on the page, we'd put it as like, you know, short product code or product code or something on here as an extra piece of data. We could probably do that. Let me take that away and have a look at that.
Thank you.
I understand why that might be problematic.
Okay, so there's another question is there an option on if you like this, you might like this?
Not, well, sort of. So what we have at the bottom is we have this, which is this is our version. So this is usually these two panels. Other customers also viewed, and again, this is kind of, this does use that kind of, this is kind of what you're, this is that. This does bring together that sort of data, like people who browse that book, this is the other stuff they were browsing. So that is the closest thing. And then this is actually customer specific. So this is the stuff that basically I've been browsing recently, and it retains that information. So yes, that's what we have right down the bottom.
Next question. I think a lot of people actually will have this question in their mind is it possible to have the weight of each book listed, please? I currently have to direct my team to Amazon to find out this information.
Right. Yeah, I'll that's a good one. I'll capture that with the 5 digits. I don't see why we shouldn't. We've got the dimensions. So potentially we could have the weight.
A lot of questions about the series, which I know you answered, that you'd love to have it noted which book was where in the series. I think, to be honest, they could do with having those on the book covers if people are browsing books at a book fair. Yeah, it's not helpful to know. And I think, yeah, it's a question that gets asked constantly about series fiction of, yeah, which one comes where. Okay, I think that's all the questions, but I will get the transcript across to you in case I've missed any kind of key points and changes people.
Fabulous. I am loving all of these ideas, so thank you. Right, so I'm going to just now move across the navigation to the right, and we'll talk a little bit about each section. So the first one here is activities for kids. Some of these pages are less useful than others, to be quite honest, to the extent that some of them might go away because they're not that useful. But here's a few of the ones that are particularly useful. So fact of the week, this is something that we use in newsletters. It's quite cute. It's just a little fact of the week, comes from a book. There's a link to the book if you want to know more. But that's just a cute little thing that we do every week. Most interesting probably is the activity sheets. So with the activity sheets, these ones at the top are the ones that have been featured in the most recent Saturday activities email. People can just click on the download button and download activity sheets. But if you scroll a bit, then you come down to a search here, a search bar here, and this is quite useful here. So you might say, oh, actually, you know, for something I'm working on, it'd be great to have some butterfly activity sheets, and then, you know, you'll find some activities that might be suitable for something somebody's looking for. We find that with the activity sheets, we find that, I mean, lots of people like them, parents like them, grandparents like them, teachers like them, early years settings like them. So lots of people like the activity sheets. One thing to note though is we do these big sort of seasonal activity packs. So Valentine's Day, Easter, summer, Halloween and Christmas. So 5 times per year, we've got a big sort of multi-page activity pack that we give away for free. And they are not in this activity sheets section because we are putting them with the books, because we do them because we want to sell books. So that's where they are. But if you're subscribed to our emails, you'll see those things come up. We have Listen to a Story. So this Listen to a Story changes every single week. And it's just a cute little story. They're usually like 2 or 3 minutes long. They come from one of our books. And that changes every week. So if that's the kind of thing that people are interested in, I know that, I think, again, early years settings, nurseries, quite like those. And then these are some things again that are not really updated. Write a story. I mean, we haven't updated this for ages, but this is just a bunch of stuff around story writing. And then step-by-step drawing is, we had a series of videos which were all about how to draw something. So we put them all on this particular page together with the books that they match. These are hilarious, by the way. I do thoroughly recommend them because the person who does these step-by-step drawing videos is Candice, and Candice is actually the author of these books, but she does the drawing videos with her son Theo, and he's just a natural comedian, and he's hilarious. So they are quite entertaining. But if you haven't been to our YouTube channel, you really, really have to go to our YouTube channel because we have so many videos. I mean, this up here says we have 1,000 videos, and that honestly would not surprise me. And within those videos, I've deliberately gone to the playlist section of our YouTube here because we have so many videos, we're grouping them all into playlists. So there's way, we've got way, if you just thought we did the step-by-step videos and the odd flick through, it is way, way more than that. So there's videos where we kind of filmed the activities. We've got videos. Almost every book we publish now gets a video, and we use these to post on social media. But we also, we also find that these videos just get played on YouTube, so they also find an audience that way as well. So there are a lot of videos on here. I would really strongly encourage you to go and have a look at that, as well as obviously checking out our social media channels and obviously the Usborne Community Partnerships social media as well. So that's the activities section. So let's talk a little bit about quick links. So quick links is a
Sophie, sorry. Yeah. Hiya, Sophie, it's Philippa again. I'm sorry, I'm being a pain tonight. Just going back to the activity packs that you said weren't on the website, and we have.
They are on the website. They're just not in that activity sheet section.
They are on the website because
yes.
I've had enormous difficulty sharing any links from that for the activity packs. Which
one were you looking for, Philippa?
Well, for example, last Easter, we had an Easter activity pack that I tried to share with my customers in France. And every time they clicked on it, it just went to page introuvable. And it just went, they could not get onto that. I could not share that activity pack at all.
Yeah, so the difficulty that you have a special difficulty, Philippa, because you're based in France. So the difficulty is the difficulty is the persistence of those partner links, and actually, because effectively, as I was saying at the very, very beginning, if people are in other countries, because we're a global website and we're trying to put them in the place that they should most logically be, the UCP functionality is all on the United Kingdom website in English, and it doesn't exist on any other website. So what is on the French people in France get automatically directed towards the French version of the website, and sometimes things are not there. So effectively, you've got to sort of tell people that if they have that problem, they need to go to the top left-hand corner, click on that English GBP, and actually select English United Kingdom.
Yeah, I do that. It's just
we did put in the fix last year, Philippa, which may not have been in time for the Easter activity pack. We did put in a fix so that if you were sharing those,
okay, so you think it might work now?
Parameter that they should be forced to the UK website. But if you're still having a problem with that, ping partner support and they'll send it through to me.
Yeah, I know. I've been banging on it for about 3 years, but anyway, but I think
we do listen.
If there's definitely been fixed, that's great. That's great.
I think it has. So if you still have problems, let partner support know, and they will filter it to me, and we'll have another go at fixing it.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Can't ask more than that. Thank you very much.
I would put FYI, Sophie for attention of Sophie McNeil in your subject line to partner.support.
You're on mute, Philippa.
Sorry, yeah, I've not done it recently because I've held back deliberately, because all I get is can't get your link, and it's just so embarrassing. So I've not done it, but yeah, but if it was on the website, you see, you could share it from your page. That was what I was saying.
You should be able. I think you should be able to share it from your page now, so you can
Should,
go
as
away
well.
and test that. And if you have problems with it, come back, because
Okay.
we did put in a fix last year, but it was after Easter. It was, I believe, it was in summer.
Okay.
But
All right,
sometimes what happens with the website is sometimes we have a patch or something that goes on, and functionality we've developed kind of seems to go backwards occasionally. We have to get the developers to put it back in. So sometimes stuff like that does happen.
All right, I'll ask some people that I know to test it for me.
No problem.
Okay. No
Okay,
problem.
so quick links. I'm sure most of you are quite familiar with quick links, but basically quick links is an area of the website. This really came from the idea. I'm going to go straight into the Browse Quick Links book so you can kind of get a sense of this. Do you remember in the olden days, we'd make the books and then we'd make a CD that went with it? Basically, that's where quick links came from. So, we'd have a book about birds, and then we'd have some little videos or whatever of birds, or maybe a book reading or whatever it's going to be. And really, the idea was sort of CDs kind of went away. And so people had the smart idea and said, well, that's fine, we can just link to all of these videos and still give you a way to kind of learn more about a specific topic. So an awful lot of our books, not all of them, but an awful lot of our books have these quick links, and they are videos from other people, quizzes, games, activities sometimes that relate to the topic of the book. And they really run the gamut. This is a little first sticker book, so it's a very, very simple little list of few lovely bird videos, which a young child would enjoy. And then you run the gamut all the way through to our encyclopedias, and some of our encyclopedias have got a QR code on every single spread. So they've got like 150 QR codes, and each QR code might have multiple pieces of content in it. So they've got thousands of quick links in them. So people can either come and they can browse the quick links book, they can search for their book and find the quick links that apply to it. We've also got this Discover Quick Links section as well. So this is where if somebody was looking for the quick links for their book, they would enter it into the search. We've also got we have seasonal quick links as well. So at the moment we have these sort of nice links to things that are all around spring. This one's almost like a list of lists. So actually this theme is spring, and it's actually bringing together this itself is a whole list of links. So we've got ones here that you can see is loads of stuff, baby animals, very cute things to do outside, all that kind of stuff. And then there's quizzes, activities, ponds and wetlands. And then these are ones that are obviously more book related, but again can be really useful, and hopefully people might find the book quite appealing as well. So quick links they're just a really fun thing. Teachers particularly value them. People who are homeschooling value them. We also have quick link of the week, which is we just pick one link. So at the moment we've got something on tomatoes because it's spring, and that will just be up for a week, and then you can see old ones that we've had, and they're just a fun little piece of content. We've also got some within the quick links section. We've got some pronunciation guides. So some of these books have actually got a lot of our English language books have got how to pronounce some words, and they're fun as well. We've got some ones for dinosaur names. Some of our books, there's one of our books that's got like sort of how to pronounce all lots of Greek names, which is quite helpful. So yeah, That's not really being added to, I have to say, though. That's all quite static, that content, but might be helpful. Okay, so let's go into the school section. So the school section at the moment, obviously we've got World Book Day first. So this year what we've done is we've really tried to create one whole hub for our World Book Day content. And so this is an extremely dense page, but it does have everything on there. So we've got our special offers, we've got the resources that go along with those books that are our super read picks. There's a video, there's all sorts of things, downloadables, there's blog posts, there's some stuff about the Doomsday Date, quick links, everything really for World Book Day. So that book tends to kind of get updated through the year. And then we've got a whole heap of schools pages that are somewhat static, to be honest. But these are really so that we've got good landing pages and places to drive people. So we're going to do a bit of a reorganisation on this. So there'll be one landing page for primary schools, one for nurseries, one for secondary schools. And then we've got a page for events, a page for book fairs and, author events, a page for book fairs and events. So this is really, to be honest, this section really kind of does support, supports the independent Usborne partners essentially. And we're always trying to get it to do a better job of explaining how you work with schools. I will also just spend a minute on the resources page. So teachers' resources are effectively multi-page sort of activity packs themselves, but really focusing around the kinds of things that a teacher might use in the classroom. So the most recent one we've done is for the book Quiet Storm, which if you haven't read it is absolutely fantastic. Sorry, it's taking a minute to load. You can see here each page has got classroom activities. This one here is quite nice because it's got a little extract from the book in it, which is quite nice. So these are downloadable, shareable, they're there to promote the book. Not a huge number of books, to be honest, get teachers' resources because they're quite expensive to produce. But when we have them, it's nice to make a song and dance about them. And the most recent ones will show up at the top, but there's also a search, a bit like the activity sheets as well. Or if you went to that book page, you'd see that there were teachers' resources also. Fact Force, I will also spend a minute explaining because this was a special thing we did a couple of years ago, really influenced by the whole COVID situation. So Fact Force came about because obviously we couldn't have authors going into schools. So we wanted to create something that felt a bit like an author visit for schools. We thought it would be really useful for partners to promote. So essentially, the way we're kind of talking about this now is they're like sort of lessons in a box, if you like. So we've got two lessons. One's Love for Your Planet. One's 100 Things to Know About Space. And each one consists of a video, which is about 22 minutes, but it's a really professionally filmed video. And then a teacher's resources pack, which then has some activities in it, which people can do within a classroom. And these are free and people can just use the videos in their classroom. They can use the teacher resources. There's only 2 of them, but they are kind of quite special because we don't normally do this kind of thing. And we probably won't do any more, to be honest, because they were a huge amount of work to create. And now we've got authors going back into schools, which of course is the best possible thing. So that's the schools and nurseries section. And then we have Sell Usborne Books, which is now really, really focused around Usborne community partnerships. Again, we're going to do a bit of reorganisation section. There's too many pages. They're a bit repetitive. But really, the main ones that you should be aware of are about Usborne community partnerships is helpful because it's just a good place if people want to know more about us. Join is the really critical one. So if people want to join, then actually this is our very, very important join button, sits on that page. And then there's lots more information about the starter kit and other things. We've just made this page a little shorter, actually. We think it works a little better. And then there's this one here about the role of a partner, but again, that's not so important. The key one really is that join page. And then we also drive traffic to this. So this is a page where people can find their local partner. And once they've picked a partner through this mechanism, then they're shopping with a partner. So if someone wanted to shop with you and they were having difficulty for some reason with that page link that you've sent them, then this will be another way that they can shop with you. They just have to find you within this menu. And then lastly, I'm not going to talk about this very much. This is all of the stuff about Usborne, really. So this is just all the stuff about us, our values, who we are, careers, trade, other stuff, basically. And then last but not least, I'm going to just jump into the footer because I wanted to also show you the newsletter sign up. So I know you already get a lot of email from us, and so I even feel bad saying this. But if you want to know what we're sharing with consumers, then the best way to do it is to actually sign up to some of our consumer newsletters, and then you'll see things that we are sharing with schools or sharing with consumers, and they may be useful to you as well. But the best way to find that is in the footer and under that newsletter sign up. So that was my very long third section. My fourth section is going to be to talk a bit about like the partner logged in experience. That will be really short. But before we jump into that, are there any questions?
There's quite a few. I am conscious of time. There's a lot of questions about the activity packs and what is an easy way to find them. Is it that they need to go into the themed areas to find the packs?
Yeah, you do. So browse by category is going to be the way to find them. As I said, there are only 5 big consumer activity packs that come out per year. I'll repeat them: Valentine's, Easter, summer, Halloween, Christmas, and each one sits on that category page. You could, I mean, I bet if you put into the search activity pack, they might come up. I'm not going to do it now though.
There was a question about, are we allowed to use the videos from YouTube on our social media channels?
Yeah,
so are they,
like to repost them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, I'd see that just like reposting any social content. I think that's fine. The one thing we are not so keen on is people doing their own book reading videos, because that becomes a copyright issue.
But yeah, the ones from our YouTube.
But sharing things that we've published is absolutely fine and encouraged.
Is it possible to filter by books with QR codes or CDs?
Sort of. So the books with the do you mean for the audio? Books with audio? Oh, you've stumped me there. No, I don't think there is. You've stumped me.
No. I know audio is massively important for our European partners, so it is a question that they will get asked by their customers a lot, of what comes with audio.
What comes with audio? No, there is literally no way to do it. It's a good question though. There might be in the future. So we are redoing our whole audio book reading experience, because those audio links actually go to a couple of really old websites, and we are trying to get everything on the same platform. So at that point, yes, we should have it in a centralized way, but not for at least a year, I would say.
There was a question about age reference and recommended key stage somewhere on the book. Obviously, it's on the website. If you search the actual book itself, it gives you all the information. If they meant on the book itself, no, there isn't. So your best way would be to look the book up on the website.
Typically, we don't at all have age recommendations on the books.
I think there's a lot of kind of technical support questions, which obviously I'll send you the transcript. Some of them might be relevant to you. If not, then yeah, please do keep emailing partner.support of your queries. And if you've emailed them before and you feel like you haven't had an answer or you've been waiting a while, I would say email them again.
Yeah, that is useful because sometimes we think we've fixed things, but sometimes not. Okay, right. Let's head into the home straight here, because here's the bit you probably most interesting actually to all of you lot, which is, okay, that's all very interesting, Sophie, but what does it look like when I am logged in as a partner? So I've just here's one I made earlier. So this is me logged in as this is we have one sort of fake partner account here. So this is what your website looks like once you've logged in to the back end system. So there was really a few things that I just wanted to just make sure that everybody knew how to do. Actually, it's not that one. It's this one. In fact, it's not that one actually. Oh, look, okay, I know what I was going to do now. Oh, sorry. So I wanted to show you. So a lot of the time you're probably going to your dashboard, right? So to look at your fantastic sales, and rightly so. But I would encourage you to use this link to click to website. I know that seems a little counterintuitive, but this is where you'll see some slightly different information and content. You probably are using this to navigate to tools and resources. So the latest news, the tools and downloads, we know that that's where we put all the stuff that we share with you. I wanted to make sure though that people are aware of this little area at the bottom called website settings, because this is where you will put in just a few sort of site setting-y type things that will enable you to kind of give customers a slightly nicer experience. So you can see if I go here, I've got, our bookshop is called Books for Life. It's got the name and all that kind of thing. It's got this purpley colour at the top. So if you haven't done this already, make sure that you have actually got a little title for your own little bookshop, so that when people are shopping with you on your website, you can kind of create this nice overlay. We call it the partner overlay to the website. And then you can even kind of make a nice little URL key so that matches your bookshop name. You can even select a slightly different color. So this is just like a little fun thing. And then there's areas where you can also enter a little bit of wording to also explain like what you're all about, like give a bit of personality to your sort of partner overlay as well. So I'd encourage everybody to do that. If you happen to have a Google Analytics account and you wanted to track traffic in it, then you can do this. The only problem is that this is the aspect of Google that's going away. So it's not most up-to-date Google Analytics code. If that's going to be an issue for you, then do ping partner support. Okay, and then social settings is the same kind of thing. This is just your social profiles. So I would encourage you to put those things in. And then this is your profile. This is just, if you wanted to change your image, all this kind of stuff, you can add a little bit more description here. I would encourage you to fill all of those things in. And the reason is that then when you're someone's shopping with you, they will get an experience that is actually pretty similar. I'm just waiting for it to load now. Pretty similar to this, right? So they will see some of this text, they will see these social buttons. So actually, the more you can fill in, the better. It looks a bit strange if it's blank. So I would thoroughly encourage you to put all that stuff in. We've talked a bit about this share button. So the share button, any page, once you're logged in, any page that you visit will have this share button. And this is really important, that if you want to send someone to a page on our website, use this link, because what this means is that you will then get commissions if you share that link and then people shop on the website, you will get commissions on those purchases. So that is really, really important that you're using these links. And they can be really effective. During COVID, these links drove lots of traffic and lots of revenue, so they still work. So please do feel free to use them. And then the last thing I also wanted to show you as well on the topic of links was I wanted to show you within the My Events functionality, we have just done something very new. So when we launched this functionality, we only had this kind of, within the school events, we only had this invite guests functionality. And this was fine, but essentially to use this, it kind of, people had to kind of sign up, because it was kind of more intended for if you had someone's email address and you wanted to send them an invite to an event, and perhaps it's someone you knew, it was a very small event. And it's good because it puts those people in your address book as long as they give you permission to share their information. So it's great from that point of view. What it's not really very good for is school book fairs, because essentially not everyone wants to share their information with you for, you know, if they're just planning to come and shop at a school book fair. So what we've done is we've created this new shopping link on the left, and this effectively works the same as that partner share link. But if people use this shopping link, then they paste it in the browser, they're shopping online in the usual way, and that sale will get credited obviously to you, but it will also get credited to that school event. So the school is then going to earn their free bonus books on that sale. So actually, this is a completely new way to think about school book fairs in particular, I would say, because obviously the problem for a school book fair is not all parents can attend. But some people might be happy to shop online with us after the event, and they'll be happy to know that that sale is then going to go against that school's event, and then the school is going to earn their Usborne books on that sale. So this has the potential to be very, very powerful. And I would encourage you, whenever you're running a school event, to share that shopping link with the school, to make sure that the school understands that they can then share it with parents and they can use it to generate additional sales. And that is the end of my TED talk, as they say. And so I'd like to open up for any final questions.
I think there's quite a few which are probably more specific to UCP. So I will kind of look through and pick those up. Yeah, I think there's a lot that are kind of more UCP specific. But there are some suggestions. But yeah, I'll send you the transcript, Sophie, for all the suggestions, because people have been really helpful with those. And I think anything more UCP specific, I will have a look at and pass through to our customer relations team as well to respond to. A huge thank you, Sophie, for doing this evening. So much amazing information for people to take away, work through, look through, and thank you everyone for joining us, as Sophie said, in such a busy time with World Book Day week. And yes, there is another all partner training session very soon, which will be product focused with Alison, so please do join us there. And I think, Sophie, you're happy for any suggestions to end up with you. So if you've got any kind of web-based suggestions, then please send them to partner.support for the attention of Sophie McNeil, and then they'll get passed to Sophie and her team to look through. I know there was a question about issues with Romania and the website, so it would be good again to get those with screenshots where possible sent across to Sophie to look at and see if she can figure it out.
That would be that's really important, actually, Lucy. If you are having problems, any problems at all using the website, when you tell us what that problem is, it is really important to include screenshots or, you know, links to specific pages where the problem occurred. So just bear in mind, if you're having a problem, you need to give us enough information that we can follow in your footsteps absolutely exactly and see the same thing that you're looking at. So, for example, if it's a problem with a QR code and audio playing, please just take a picture of the QR code, tell us the name of the book. You know, if you can tell us the ISBN, even better. But just always make sure that you're able to give us that information in a way where we can just step through it and go, ah, yes, I see what the problem is.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and massive thank you again to Sophie. Yes, we will get this recording up ASAP for anyone that wasn't able to make it to watch it back. So I'm going